Hi, welcome to this Open Security Summit in November 2021, where we're going to be looking at a lot of great, amazing resources that already exist around the Open Security Summit on threat modeling. So let's start. Basically, what this session is about the large amount of threat modeling content, right, that exists in the last, summits, and that we already have published out there. And we started this really cool concept of threat modeling project, which is this idea of Open Security Summit to try to consolidate and to share a lot of this information. So in a way, this presentation is kind of an evolution of that. It's almost like a presentation of what we're trying to do with the project. And my kind of view on this is that these projects are about sort of trying to make the information easy to consume. It's about kind of moving the conversation forward, sharing data, collaborating, creating sessions, creating initiatives, finding lots of materials that in a way are sometimes quite distributed out there and making it really easy to consume. And in threat modeling, basically we should be answering the question, okay, where do I start? Of what resources are available? If I want to learn, where do I go? What's the best way to do it? So, there's a lot of cool approach that we can take, and of course, please collaborate. It's an open source project. Everything is free. Everything is open. Everything is with Creative Commons. Please go out there and collaborate. This is kind of the first version of the page, quite crude, but it already has some good data. Has some of the videos here quite highlighted, and then it has a lot of the sessions that we had in the last basically year and a half, 2 years. And the advantage in a way of the new projects, the new sessions versus sort of the ones which I also covered a little bit in the past summits is that we actually have lots of the videos. And one of the things we also want to do, and again, if anybody wants to help, it'd be great, is we want to start taking these videos and finding what is the best 5 or 10 minutes of it. And then creating pages, getting the transcripts of the videos, putting all online, really creating a nice resource, because basically these are amazing practitioners, right? These are the people that actually do threat modeling every day, and they have lots of knowledge to share. So I want to go back a bit in time and just talk a little bit about some of the great outcomes that we created in the physical summit. So again, the Open Security Summit at the moment is mostly virtual, but the kind of history is in these physical summits where we actually got all these basically people together, some rock stars of our an amazing talent. And we kind of all got together and we basically put it all together in one place to kind of collaborate. So what we've done, for example, in this 2019, we actually had about 24 sessions that we basically all collaborated on. There's a lot of sessions, the ones you can see on the right, that just happened kind of organically, and there was some great content. And what we've done in this year, we also created a lot of, put a lot of effort in trying to capture it in what we basically call the outcomes. So this is basically the outcomes of the sessions that we basically ran in this, summit. And you can see from threat model lessons learned, some great stuff from Lyndon, the state and future of threat modeling. I'm just going to cover a little bit some of the outcomes. So this was a really great session where we talked about the state and future of threat modeling, and then basically it was a brainstorm where we mapped some deliverables. Why don't companies do threat model, for example? What's the kind of things that we can do? And this is sort of what we want to do next, right? So a lot of these ideas kind of were there, they were documented, but we haven't evolved as much, or even when we evolve, we haven't hyperlinked this and make it easy to consume. So part of the idea of the project and for the Open Security Summit threat modeling project is to keep expanding on this and keep making it easy to consume. And one of the pieces of work that we're going to do, and Ilona, which is here, she's going to help, but others, of course, if you can, please do, is we want to move some of these contents from the kind of this website 2019 into the new website, and then really add it to the threat modeling pages and really make it easy to consume, easy to discover, again, easy to index by Google. So then it becomes a great set of resources that is out there. This session was another really powerful, which is the threat modeling data schema. This is one of the things that it's a recurring theme. In the way we were talking about this in 2019, I don't think we have evolved as much as we could. And kind of the logic here is that again, you're trying to figure out a data schema for threat modeling. And there's a lot of great thinking here, right? Which is sort of the point, right? This has been done by some of the best minds in threat modeling, but also for the people joining in or want to contribute, it also shows how much there is to do, right? We have nowhere close to having solved the threat modeling, sort of model in a way, right? So we really need, to put a lot of thinking, experimenting, sharing knowledge, what works, what doesn't work, etc. So this is a really good thing out there. And there was lots of ideas. So the next one is the threat modeling project roadmap. There's some really cool ideas. And remember, there's a lot of great work happening at OWASP, which we absolutely want to contribute, want to leverage, want to basically, make sure that, again, it has the projection that it deserves, right? So the idea here, of course, is not to do something, outside of what's being out there. It's just about making the best of what exists and sharing knowledge and link and contribute, of course, to other projects. But also, there's a lot of ideas here what we can basically make it happen. So if you're looking for an open source project, if you're looking for something to be involved, this is a really good project to be part of it. And then one of the last ones that I was reviewing the content, which I really like, is this idea that working towards a unified way of describing threat model. And this has, again, lots of great thinking about it. And we, it's a lot of good stuff about, making you think, when you see some of the questions that are here, these are all pertinent questions on threat modeling today. So really, really amazing content that is kind of a bit buried today in the whole open source, sort of Open Security Summit kind of links. And this is, again, why we want to consolidate some of these and make it much easier to consume and much easier to kind of access. And here's the bit, right? We need help, right? We need help to kind of move this content into the new open source Open Security Summit threat modeling project and make it consume and expand on it, right? All this should be linked and we should be taking it to the next level. Also going a bit back, and actually we need to go back to 2017 and the previous summits. We basically had some great sorry, just a second. We had some great sessions on 2018, and basically what we did there was, again, another great batch of sessions that we created. Sorry, let me just change the slide here. And we got, again, 24 sessions, and even the titles are great titles, even to be inspired of what to do next and where to work. And because these, again, are all real world questions, real world ideas that people have, right? We also mapped a lot of our outcomes in 2018. Again, how to scale threat modeling, some great document Kubernetes threat modeling cheat sheets. So we're trying to think about that, what's needed, how you implement it. So there's, again, a lot of great content. Alana, and others, we need to move this into the new website. So the new site, and then, really, have both the historical view, but also, improve the content and take it to the next level.
Sure.
So this takes me to our current YouTube channel, right, that we have already, so once we moved into the sort of the virtual sessions because of COVID, because everything went virtual, one of the good news of it is actually we managed to record everything, where unfortunately a lot of the great sessions from the past summits were not recorded. So, which is a shame because, there was some amazing conversations, amazing discussion, amazing content that was created. So we have a great YouTube channel, which again, you should subscribe. And in the channel, you actually have a great section on threat modeling, which, as you can see, has pretty amazing content, right? So this is all the sessions that we have mapped there that have happened throughout, the last session. So let me just give you a quick overview. So this is a good one because when I was connecting the data, I was thinking, surely one of the things that we need to do is the whole, where do you start, right? And that's kind of what we have some great sessions. For example, these three in particular, where you got Phil talking about threat personas, you've got, Avi really giving a great introduction to threat modeling, and Petra also doing I think that's called first aid toolkit when you're doing a threat model, right? So great place to start. We really need to make sure this is big on the Open Security Summit, threat modeling project side, but this is a great place to start and to share, right, with your teams. There was a great session about the threat modeling manifests, but and literally some of the creators of the manifest were actually on the session. That was always really good to see it working, to see, the concept. And again, that is something I highly recommend everybody to take a good look at it, because it really it helps to take threat modeling to the next level. I want to really now, talk about two different sessions that happened during these summits, which were really, really pretty amazing. One was this one by Christian with threat modeling with open source tools, where he actually talks about a great JavaScript platform and YAML-based platform that he developed, that were helped to develop, where basically, he's been working on, and it's really a great way to map and to scale threat modeling as part of your pipeline, and talks about doing threat modeling as code, which I think is really pretty awesome, right? And in fact, I don't think that title is a good representation of what that session was. So this is a good example of a session that we need to extract a lot of the amazing value that came out of it. So highly recommend. And then the next one is really close to my heart, which is basically also happened on Tuesday in this summit, where was threat mapping, where basically Jacob was literally talking about how do you basically marry threat modeling with wordly mapping, right? A really, really powerful session. Highly recommend you guys to see. And again, how do we take this to the next level? I think there's great nuggets in here that need to be followed up, and also the whole point of this is to continue the conversation. So we want to have further on sessions in the next summit where we basically continue the conversations, continue to talk about people, challenge things, bring questions, and I think that's super powerful. We also have on a threat modeling a bunch of sessions about looking at the tools that exist, and this is important because threat modeling, a lot of it is about the tools, at least the value you can get with some of the tools that exist out there. So this is basically, we have a bunch of sessions around, some of the best threat modeling tools, and of course, some are open source, some are commercial, but it's really good to get a view for where we are, how it works, and what's out there. And then, where are we? Sorry, I think actually that might be, sorry, that was the last slide. So basically that's kind of the first sort of level of introduction that I want to do, where the bottom line is that, there is some amazing resources already out there. And actually what I can actually quickly do is just, basically show you the summit site. So in the site, if you go at the top, if you go into projects, and then, we're starting to map a bunch of different projects here. You can see that there is the threat modeling project. And then, this is again, pretty crude, but it's already, has the videos here. And then it has the sessions that have occurred. And for each of these sessions, you can go in there, and in the session, you basically have you will have the video. And then once we upload the slides, you also have the slides there. So you can see here, there is the video of the session that you have there. And that's really what we want to take it to the next level. So there you go. This a very quick whirlwind sort of tour of a lot of the great resources that we have at the Open Security Summit. And maybe actually the final little one, if you want to find the past projects, you can go in here at the bottom, and we got that. You got the previous summits, and in each of these summits, you can then see that it's all organized by. So you can see at the top we have the outcomes here. So that's how you can find the outcomes page. And if you go into the tracks page, you can see there's always a threat modeling session. There you go, threat modeling, and that contains the sessions and the links to all the information. And on the outcomes, you can see here the outcomes of the threat modeling that are here, right? So you could see here all the threat modeling sessions. So any questions or comments?